Hey guys, thanks for joining for episode of Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and today we're going to take a look at a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called Invictus. This is a brand new game by Bionic Games. It is a 2 to 6 player game that takes roughly an hour to an hour and a half to play, and it is a cooperative competitive game. Cooperative in if you're playing with more than 2 players, you'll be broken into teams. So each team is going to be working together to help each other out, and then the competitive aspect is obviously one team versus the other team. And this is a deck builder, so you're going to be slowly building up your deck, improving it throughout the game to get more and better cards and or abilities for your characters throughout the game. So in the game itself, you are going to be playing one of the Greek gods with a twist. This is set in the future, and so they have power armor and really cool guns and all kinds of different things with them, kind of like a Halo or Destiny. So other than that, in the game, you're going to be managing 4 different types of resources throughout the game: a currency, an attack, counter, and healing abilities, which you can use for those abilities on their cards, or you can save them up to activate the abilities on your character's card as well, which are usually pretty powerful. And depending on how you manage this will determine whether or not you're victorious in the end. So my opinions on this one, I have had a really good time with it. I enjoy deck builders and I like cooperative games, so I thought this was a really interesting twist as it has the cooperative element if you're playing with teams and the competitive element as you're working against each other. So really interesting aspects and a lot of different variety. Obviously, with the number of gods that are included in the game, you have a ton of different options within that, and each god functions a little bit differently with different special powers and the way that they will handle different things throughout the game with those powers. And then obviously, depending upon the strategies you use, whether you want to go heavy combat or heavy countering or healing, all kinds of different options that'll allow you as your team as well to work together and potentially beat the other team. So I really like a lot of those aspects, and it was a lot of fun. Very easy to learn and teach. Not a lot of huge complicated rules or anything to bog the game down, and turns played very fast, as you guys are going to see if you watch my gameplay video that I will have a link to in the description below and also in the top corner over here. You guys can check that out and see how fast the game plays as well. So other than that, of course, these are just my opinions. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this, if this is one that you're looking to back, or if you have any questions on it as well. Let me know in those comments below also what you're interested in within it. If there's particular gods you like or different things that you would like to see in the game as well, let me know, or swing by the main Kickstarter's page and drop your comments there as well. So, as always, if you like these videos, if you enjoy what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channels. It helps me to grow and continue to bring these games to you guys. And if you want to stay up to date on all of the videos that I put out, also consider ringing the bell so you get notifications anytime I put out new content. One other thing I want to point out real quick is that all the materials you guys see in this are prototype materials. None of this reflects the final production copy materials you guys will receive later on after backing. So let's head to the table and I'll show you what this one's all about. One of the most important aspects of Invictus is the gods that the players are going to be playing as. In the beginning of the game, each player is going to be dealt 2 god cards. They'll look at those and choose which one they want to play. The other one will be flipped over to the back side to complete the god that they've chosen. Each god's card is going to have the name of the god at the top and the number of hit points on it. And then each god is going to have 2 abilities that are going to be unique to that god. Each ability will have a name and the resources required to activate it and resolve its effects. At the bottom of the god card is going to be the hit points that god has. In the beginning of the game, you'll mark those. So with Zeus, he has 150. So we'll place 1 on 100 and 1 on 50. Below that is the charge station, where players can keep cards to only use them to activate their character abilities. On the other card here, we have the 3 different stats for that god, which are accuracy, fire rate, and range. In the beginning of the game, you'll place a token on accuracy with the red mark, and then we have the other 2 which will just take up the first spaces. And as the game goes on, you can upgrade these these different skills by spending the cost for that upgrade to do those. And then on the bottom is also a quick reference for the boost card cost and the reinforcement card cost. And each player can hold up to 2 reinforcement cards underneath their abilities there, which will give them additional abilities. And then finally on the side here is a quick reference guide for all the different actions and such that the players can perform during their turns. In this deck builder, there are 4 different types of energies that the players are going to be using. The first one is Prisma Energy, which is going to be currency, which the players will use to purchase other cards throughout the game, or activate different gods' abilities. Then we have Fire Energy, which is mainly used for standard attacks or activating god abilities. We have Aqua Energy, which is used to counter or used for god abilities. And finally, we have Life Energy, which is used to heal or activate god abilities. And each of these different energy types is with each level granting the players more of that type of energy, as well as having a higher cost and a different set of abilities on that card. With the first two types of energy also having a fourth type of card, which is going to be a wild card, which can either be used to activate God's abilities, or for the beam rifle, it can also be used to attack. Another interesting feature of the game is the boost deck, which has two different purposes. The players can purchase the cards for 2 energy apiece, and they can add them to their hand for single-use abilities, or during the game, the players are also going to use it as a probability deck by flipping over a card, and based on the color of the card, will determine whether they hit their enemies being accurate or having different abilities or whatnot will also be used for these cards. And each of these card colors is going to have a different effect as well. So for example, with red, they will all be counters. Green cards will be able to be used anytime. Blue cards can be used in the future, and if you draw purple cards, they must be used immediately. And that's only when you purchase the cards. When you're dealing with the probability, you're simply looking at the color to determine the outcomes of the effects, as you guys are going to see later. To start the game, each player is also going to receive a starting hand of cards, which are 4 of the Prisma cards, 1 Gladius, and 1 Clinker. With this card, it is just a dud card and is completely useless until the player destroys it and removes it from their hands. From there, then each player is going to go ahead and take those cards and shuffle them up and place them on their side for their draw pile. From there, then each player will draw from their draw pile until they have 5 artifact cards. And the Clinker is also considered an artifact. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we ended up getting every card except for that one. And then throughout that player's turn, they can use those cards to purchase additional or new cards that'll go into their discard pile, or activate different abilities on their player characters, or attack other players by using the attack cards. So for example, with this one, we can play this as an attack card, and it'll do 10 damage to another player, potentially, or we can use it as energy to activate one of our abilities, or we can store it in the charge station to activate one of these abilities in a later turn. Each god can only store or place cards in their charge station according to their abilities and what energy types they need for that. Another unique feature of this deck builder is the way that combat works, and the fact that it is a team game. So for example, let's go ahead and take a look at a round of combat with Zeus here, and he's going to say he's going to target another opponent. So first off, he has to play either a standard attack card or use one of his abilities to perform an attack action. So we're just going to go ahead and do Gladius here. So this is going to potentially do 10 damage to an opponent. From there, we have to check our range to make sure we have the range to that opponent. So right now we have a range of 1, which means that we can target the player to our left or the player to our right. And the more players you play, the range is going to be farther away for some of those players. So you may or may not be able to target players until you upgrade your abilities to allow for a greater range. From there, we're going to check our accuracy. So right now at the beginning of the game, our accuracy is pretty low. And so we need to flip over a boost card that is red, matching that. So we did not, so this attack fails and does not do any damage. But say, for example, we would have flipped over a red card, then it would have succeeded and done damage to our other player, who could have then potentially countered it with one of his own cards or abilities. Now, as the game goes on, again, you can pay an energy cost in the currency to upgrade your accuracy to include additional colors. And there, like I said, there's 4 different colors, so you'll be able to increase your accuracy up to 3 of those colors, and then you need a reinforcement card that specifically states another color to add to that as well, if you want to be completely accurate with all 4 colors. From here, the game will continue round after round with each player getting to activate an order. And each team is trying to eliminate the other team or get them to concede. In either case, the other team will be the winning team and the game will be over. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful in deciding whether or not you want to back this Kickstarter. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the creators Kickstarter page and drop your comments there as well. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you guys and answer any questions you have on this game. I would recommend it. I found that this was a very fun deck building game, and with the team elements, it really adds an interesting cooperative versus competitive aspect to the game, which is unlike a lot of the other deck builders that I've played in the past. So this has got some really unique features, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. I had a really good time with it. And if you're interested in checking out the other video, I also have a gameplay video that is up, and if you guys want to check out that, I'll have it in a link to in the description below.